chest out, Mike. Say it with your chest
My name's
out.
Mike Jimenez. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas. West San Antonio, West Bexar County represented. My name's Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia producing today's show. It is January 25th. The rain has gone away. Lots to get into.
Is it safe to watch the car?
It's safe to watch the car. As the clouds start to go away, I think the Rookie of the Year clouds are going away too.
Jeez, man.
It is Wembys at this point.
Yeah.
Yesterday kind of proved it. So we have a lot to get into today.
Yeah. Hey, we got somebody watching us from the Netherlands, man.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. What's going on, Garrett? From the Netherlands. We have a lot going on right now. Okay, we're talking about the Spurs. We're talking about Wemby versus Chet. It was nationally televised on ESPN yesterday. Couple of things. What are your thoughts on the Chet versus Wemby last night? Them going mano a mano in the third and fourth quarter there. We'll get into that. Also, did you watch this game listening to it on ESPN or CW35? Because the local broadcasting versus the national broadcasting, and people were going back and forth on Twitter about this last night.
You're going to listen to the guys over ESPN or Sean?
Yeah.
Sean Elliott.
And Bill Land.
Right?
Sohan. Oh, my God, dude. It was such a bad game. I don't know what to make out of this. We do have a special co-host today, Ricardo Fernandez from the United States Marine Corps. You know him as
in the
Fernandez.
House.
He'll be on in a few minutes as well. Yeah. A famous porn star has died.
Necio
Talk.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was so funny because I log on to various pop culture sites and I saw that her name was there. And I remember her from the TV show Entourage that was on HBO for many years. Now, she wasn't on all the time, but she made an appearance on there that I do remember from that show.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the photo that we'll show. Okay. As opposed
I'll have to screen it first.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll find it. But before we get into all that, and before we bring Rick on, Fernandez on, my goodness, do you ever walk into a new restaurant and then it just hits perfectly? Because that's what happened to me this morning. I just got back from Sazon or whatever that's called.
Oh, you remember I was telling you about Sazon. It was great,
dude.
Right? I'm telling you, man.
Okay, so Sazon, by the way, they are not a sponsor of ours.
Oh, no, man. No.
Okay, we live off of Petrenko Road. I live outside of 1604. You live inside 1604. Yeah. We're about 4 or 5 miles from each other. But right in the middle is a new restaurant called Sazon. Now, they used to have a different location.
It's right
Caddy
here.
Corner near the HEB, about a mile away. And it was kind of it was like a little shopping center type of restaurant.
Yeah, this little strip mall that they had right
Yes, right next to the Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah. And now they moved to a standalone building close to Stevens High School. That place opened up in December is amazing. I can see that place for birthday parties, for graduation parties, for, all sorts of things like that.
It's nice inside.
It reminded me of like a legit Rosario's.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like Rosario's. Don't get me wrong, but Rosario's is kind of uppity, right? Sazon is kind of like puro, but it's nice.
It's a staple. It's going to become a jewel of the Marbach Petrenko area.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's going to be celebrated both inside the loop and outside the loop. Absolutely amazing. We're live right now on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you go on there, like and subscribe, share what we're doing to all your friends and family, coworkers. Let them know that we go on right around 10 o'clock and we last for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then we also put this on a podcast platform because people can't watch it or listen to it on, at 10 o'clock sometimes, right? But what are we doing? We are taking the place of San Antonio Sports Talk Radio because from 10 to 2, they go dark. So you can turn to shows like ours or In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J, because I don't want to listen to Colin Cowherd. I don't want to listen to Jim Rome. Let's talk about local things and let's get to the 21st century, dude. Sports Talk Radio is a dinosaur. Let's move it on over to the podcast format. Have fun, unfiltered, no commercials. Let's make this happen. But again, we're talking about the Spurs. We're talking about Wemby. We're talking about the NFL playoffs. We're going to have a few segments that we like to kind of put forth, and maybe those who are listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, maybe you can leave a comment or two as to whether or not you would like to have these as staples within what we do. Is it a daily staple? Is it a weekly thing that we do? So So for like an example could be a TikTok of the day. Like I go on TikTok and there's some things that I find to be very, very funny. Maybe I can share a TikTok of the day. We have a bunch of Nestials here, dude. We have they like the girls, right?
Oh, yeah.
We talked earlier about Sydney Sweeney yesterday. We talked about various people, various celebrities,
Your favorite Taylor Swift,
Tiffany Amber Tyson, all that, right? Maybe we have the listeners present to us someone that they follow on Instagram or someone that they follow on TikTok that they think, man, that girl's hot. You should follow her.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. By the way, if you look at the top right of the screen here, there is a buy us a coffee QR code there. So if you want to tip us and say, hey, thank you for being entertainment, here's a buck or two. That's your opportunity of doing so. And then also when you do that, you can also do a super chat. Explain what a super chat is, Joe.
Yeah, super chat is just highlighting your comment there, gets a highlight, and it automatically gets pushed to the front of the line. And you can, it's like a little tip. So it's like anywhere from $2 to $5, $10
Yeah.
I've seen. You decide it, and it now goes to helping the show, keep going and make a little bit of improvements here and there.
And we're not paying our bills with this.
No.
What we're doing is we're paying for cameras. We're paying for lighting. We're paying for toys, graphics, being able to put things on Spotify, being able to do things on YouTube, editing equipment. So it's not for us to like pay our CPS bill.
Yeah, no,
it's keeping the show going.
Yeah.
It gets pumped back into the show.
So let's bring in our guest.
Yeah, I do see him. United States Marine Corps, California, San Diego area. We've got Ricardo Fernandez, also known as Spurnandez. He's
the infamous
Spurnandez. We're talking about the guy that you see collecting the cups wherever he goes. What's going on, my favorite Marine? Doing?
What's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you guys for having me. Speaking of stacking cups, you already know. You can find this at Bear County, exclusively.
Bear County Social Apparel, understood.
No cease and desist on this one. Yeah. No cease and desist on this one.
Hey, man, I gotta ask you something.
Not yet.
Gotta ask you something, man. This is funny, dude. Our boy Chris Leja is running a poll on Twitter, right, for the best nickname for Zach Collins. Did you see that?
I saw that. Yep, I saw it.
We got to do your girl like this, man, because you know how she has an infatuation with Collins. That's her Spurs crush, right?
That's her hall pass. That's her Spurs. That's her Spurs hall pass.
That's her tall pass. He's 7.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, dude, because she was chiming in the chat as well, trying to give him a nice nickname. And right now at the top of the list, the nickname that I gave him, Booty Crumbs.
Hey, I don't think anything could beat that one, bro. That one is that's the OG.
Dude, he has been such a disappointment this year. But let's get into the game from last night, man. About last night, the Spurs took on the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Frost Bank Center. Not a very good night for the Spurs. The Spurs got blown out 140 to 114, but we did get to see Victor Wembanyama go head-to-head with Chet Holmgren. They avoided each other for a couple of quarters. Then in the third quarter, they decided, let's go at each other. And I thought Wemby got the better of the two. Before the month started, and people gave me crap about this because I wasn't saying, I have never said that Chet Holmgren is better than Victor Wembanyama. I have said from the beginning that I would want Wemby, that all 30 GMs in the NBA would want Wemby over Chet. It's just the first 2 months, Chet performed just as well as Wemby, and as of January 1 was the rookie of the year. But things have changed over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Wemby has turned it up, now averaging 20.5 points per game, 20.5 with 10 rebounds and over 3 blocks per game. Last night goes off, has a pretty good game, 24 points on 9 of 18 shooting. Missed all 3 3-pointers, but he did have 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Chet Holmgren for the Thunder, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. So the Thunder got the win, but Wemby got the better of the two. This was on national TV, Fernandez. Do you think that yesterday Wemby took control, not just slight favorite, but took control of the Rookie of the Year race?
Absolutely. I think, and obviously we're Spurs fans, right? I'm a Spurs homer, if you will. Respect to Chet. Dude's an amazing player. I mean, the dude is talented. He's got a lot of skills. sans Wemby, Chet would be, running away with this. But I agree. I think if everything's the same and both of them were at the same level, the winning record of the Thunder would probably put them over the top. But I think yesterday you saw the difference. And I feel like Chet was avoiding Wemby. Wemby was guarding Chet from jump. So I feel like he was. So to me, Wemby was guarding Chet from jump. Chet started kind of guarding Sohan a little bit, and then towards the end, they went at it a little bit. But I think he did. I think he's showed, they're both skilled, they're both talented, but there's just something else that Wemby has inside him, and you could see after them dunks and after his reaction, right? He wanted it. Some other players might be like, oh, my record is so low and my team's down. You wouldn't know Wemby's team's record is what it is by just watching him play. If you were in a vacuum and just watching him go at Chet, you wouldn't know the circumstances about his team's record and whatnot. So I'm curious how Chet would be performing in an environment like that. So that's why, to me, I think it's something that's just mentally and in here that Wemby is gonna pass Chet.
Do you see Wemby flexing on Chet when he had that dunk?
Oh
he
my
stared
God.
him down, dude. He's like, "What's up, fool?"
He bodied him up in the third quarter and dragged him, essentially pushed him back into the basket, got the dunk, and then on the other side, 10 seconds later, Chet is called for an offensive foul because he got pissed off. He Wemby.
Yeah, you see him. He it's a frustration. He went in there and he was in his head, and again, that's I think anybody's reaction, but you saw how Wemby got under Chet's skin.
Jesus Rivera reaches out to us on our YouTube chat, says Wemby dog walked Chet. And then I like the one from Sam Salinas earlier. He said something to the effect of, I'm surprised Pop didn't take Wemby out when they started going one-on-one with each other. But that's kind of the thing. Taking a look right now at FanDuel, right? So FanDuel yesterday named Wemby the favorite for Rookie of the Year. They put him back in as favorite, right? After last night's game, it's no longer a slight favorite. They now have Wemby as the overwhelming favorite at minus 180 to win. They have Holmgren at plus 150. Just to let you know, that's basically saying that Wemby's now an 80% favorite to win Rookie of the Year, according to them. Really, it's a two-horse race. But I think what we saw yesterday was the difference between a future superstar and a future all-star. Chet Holmgren's going to be an all-star, okay? He's going to be an all-star in the sense that LaMarcus Aldridge was an all-star, okay? At no point was LaMarcus Aldridge, who may very well be in the Hall of Fame one day, and I think that he has the bona fide to do so. But he was never a superstar, and Wemby is the superstar. And last night we're seeing that, and now the question becomes, so the question on January 1 was, oh my God, is Wemby going to actually win Rookie of the Year? Because he has competition. That competition's gone away. Now the next question is Wemby going to be an all-star this year? Because his points per game when the month started was like he was like at 18-9. That's not all-star level. But when he up it to 21-10 or 21-10 with 4 blocks per game, 3.5 blocks per game, now they don't have a reason not to have him there as an all-star. I think he's right on there. I don't think he'll be named to the all-star team initially, but very much like DeJounte Murray got in when someone got injured. I think it was Draymond who got hurt, and they said, okay, well, we need to add in a substitute. I think that's how Wemby gets in.
I could see that. And I think you're right, man. He's just on the cusp. You know what I mean? He is right there. And like you said, the numbers aren't lying. He's putting up all-star numbers. It's also, though, the other bigs in the league, so I think he is flirting with all-star, right? And again, there's politics involved. I think the NBA would love to have their golden goose, all the international media and all they're out there. He's going to go out. He's there for the skills challenge. We already know he's going to be in Indianapolis. He's already a name to the skills challenge. So he's going to be there. Hell, I want him in.
I got my sneakers. I'm already here.
Yeah. Hey, I want him in the dunk contest. I mean, you can argue him in all the events, right? But no, we know he's going to be involved in these festivities because he's going to be in the skills challenge. I think you're right where he's in the cusp, and this is probably the only year he will be. Because going forward, I think he's going to be all-star every year. But going with the team as it is, the numbers weren't all-star level at the very beginning, but now that they are, and I don't do this a lot, but I think I agree with Jimenez. He could get in on a injury or replacement or something like that. I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get named to the team, he's the first replacement, right? So
I look at it this way, Fernandez, when it comes to it all. Right now, when it comes to scoring, Victor Wembanyama is 43rd in the NBA. They're going to take 12 from each conference, right? I wish they did 15, but they're only doing 12. And it's no longer the team LeBron versus team whomever. It is actually Western Conference, Eastern Conference, the way God intended.
Yes, thankfully. Yeah.
But let's look at the people above him, okay? Those that are tops in scoring. Luka Doncic is going to get in by the vote, right? So that's one right there. We saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yesterday's SGA, obviously going to get in, right? Kevin Durant's averaging 29 points per game. He's going to get in. So that's 3 right there. Let's go down. De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he needs to get some love. The guy's averaging 27 points per game, averaging 6 assists per game. So that's 4. Devin Booker, 27 points per game. That's 5. Steph Curry's going to get in more than likely because of the vote and because he's awesome. Nikola Jokic MVP. Anthony Edwards is a phenom himself. That's 8. We keep going. LeBron, obviously, that's 9. That's going to get in through the vote. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of it all. Anthony Davis. Okay, is he going to get in over Anthony Davis? Probably not. So now we're at 10. Okay. Now let's get out some other names here. Kawhi Leonard. Okay, that's the LA name. Let's call that 11. Who is number 12? And here are the candidates for number 12. Desmond Bane from Memphis. Does that make anybody excited? Desmond Bane. I mean, he's a good player, averaging 24 points per game, but he is Desmond Bane. What about a player like Paul George, who's a perennial all-star himself? Karl Anthony Towns. Alperen Şengün is averaging 22 points per game. Zion Williamson's out there. You've got players like Jaren Jackson, Brandon Ingram, who average more points, but Wemby might average more rebounds. Wemby the league in blocks. Wemby is doing other things, and Wemby is the phenom. He's on the cusp. I think if they took 15 players, he'd be in, but it's going to take an injury because we've named 11 that are sure going to get in. So I think there's probably like 5 or 6 fighting for that 12. But if Ty goes to the runner and the NBA and you're the commissioner, wouldn't you want to have Wemby there as opposed to Desmond Bane? Wouldn't you want to have Wemby there as opposed to Brandon Ingram or Alperen Şengün? Wouldn't you rather have Wemby there as opposed to Paul George? Who gets excited about Paul George? He's a good, great player, future Hall of Famer. But who gives a crap about Paul George?
They're not even excited about him out here in SoCal, man. So you know.
Let me ask you a question, Fernandez.
No, I agree with that. But yeah, what's up, bro?
So, in order for Wemby to get voted into the NBA All-Star game, he needs votes from the fans, right? Of course, San Antonio is small market, but hey, the fans like to go and they vote for their favorite players, like always, But to me, it's been a little bit disheartening how the Spurs, they don't even have a campaign going on for Wemby like they've had for other players in years past. Hey, vote for your favorite Spurs, to push them into the All-Star game. There's no talk about that. Absolutely zero. It's not they're not even making a push to put Wemby or, hey, vote for Wemby, put him in the All-Star game. It's all done just like, grassroots kind of thing, hey, word of mouth, the Spurs fans telling other Spurs fans, vote for Wemby. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Why the change from the Spurs in this?
I will say that's odd. That is a little odd. They obviously know, that's normally how it goes. And listen, I've been accused of being a homer and always, and I'm not, but I'm just trying to think about this logically. There's got to be a reason for them not like that. The PR team is great. Jordan runs that PR team over there, and they're amazing. Is it like Wemby doesn't want that? I don't know. I'm just asking the question because that just seems too odd to me that they're not doing that because I don't know. I'm just like a logical person. There has to be a reason to me. I don't think they're just not doing it for no reason. And I don't know the answer. So I'm not sitting here saying that, but it is odd to me. I think it's odd that the official Spurs website or Twitter isn't putting it out like they did. I remember with Kawhi, oh man, when he was our beloved son here, everybody was voting, and it was a big thing, and we did all this kind of stuff. Same thing with DeJounte. So I do find it odd that they're not pushing it. I don't know. That's a perplexing one to me because, like I said, they're a smart team over there, PR folks. I think I feel like maybe it's by design for some reason, and I don't know. I really don't. I'm usually not.
That's the thing. It is done by design. It pop in the front office.
Right. I feel like somebody, and maybe Wemby's on board with it. I don't know. Maybe Wemby is like, look, we get all these things about, don't bother me after 9:30. He likes to read, whatever. He doesn't like to be part of the cameras. He doesn't really care that they're around. Maybe Wemby is like, look, I don't want that push. If I get in, I get in. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to find a logical reason because it is kind of strange to me that they're not pushing it.
Hanover Fist reaches out to us on our YouTube stream, says Spurs don't want Wemby, these all-stars, to get in his ear.
I don't think so. I've heard that before for people. Listen, people will get in your ear no matter where you're at. Like you know what I'm saying? It don't take a bunch of people. Listen, Indianapolis, no offense if you're from there, isn't like a vacation destination. So it doesn't take everybody to join up together in Indianapolis and get in his ear. You know what I mean? They'll get in his ear regardless. I don't know. I really don't. Here's the thing. He's there anyway for the skills challenge. So that whole they don't want all-stars in his ear is debunked right there. He's there for the skills challenge. So
now again, the all-star team is not just voting. It's also
exactly.
Media.
It's
also
media, coaches, right? Coaches have The fan vote is like a small percentage of it, to be honest. I mean,
the starters get named tonight on ESPN or TNT rather tonight. Just a little FYI: the last time a rookie was named to the All-Star team was back in 2011. Blake Griffin. Before that was 2003 Yao Ming, and before that, 1998 Tim Duncan. So in the last 25 seasons, only 3 rookies have been named to the All-Star team, which means LeBron didn't make it as a rookie.
Right.
So if you go back in time beyond that, you had players like Shaq and Dikembe Mutombo, David Robinson. Robinson and Duncan both made it as a rookie. Wemby on the cusp. He's on the cusp.
He's on the cusp. And I'm telling you, I'm not ruling out that he doesn't make it. He might sneak in, man. He might get there, like you said. And if it's one of those things where and I'm not saying he's going to get a pass. His numbers are there. But like you said, when it comes down to it, the excitement and selling tickets is Wemby over a guy like Bane, right? Just for name recognition and for international flavor. And like, he's going to bring some all moments to the All-Star game. Like, so I'm not ruling out that he doesn't make it outright. But if he doesn't, I think Jimenez is right where he's the first. And there's always replacements, right? They name players, and then it's like as soon as you name a guy, it's like, oh, they're not playing, and here's their replacement. So I think he's going to be there, one way or another, right? And well deserved.
All right, starters, captains named tonight, 6 p.m. tonight on TNT during the NBA tip-off presented by CarMax. There's a doubleheader of games tonight. They're going to have the Celtics and Heat, Kings and Warriors tonight. Again, before all that gets going, they'll name the All-Star starters. The game takes place on February 18th, like you mentioned, in Indianapolis, Indiana. Skills challenge, Wemby will already be there. Wemby's stats for the month of January, if he had done that in November and December as well, he'd be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
He is playing at an all-star level right now. Now, one of the big things about yesterday was that Pop lifted the minutes restriction. Went from 24 minutes now up to 30. And it's not like a lot of Spurs players play above 30 minutes anyway. So at this point, I don't feel like there's a restriction anymore because they were going to play him over 30 anyway, right? But that was nice to see. Now, yesterday, the game was nationally televised. And I asked a question on Twitter yesterday. Are you watching this on CW35 with Sean Elliott and Bill Land? Or are you watching this on ESPN with the national hosts, the national play-by-play guys? And you did not have an option yesterday. You're in California talking to Fernandez, 1234 United States Marine Corps, out there in California right now. If you were home right now in San Antonio and you're watching the game, would you have rather have watched it with the local commentators or with the national ones?
Actually, I do have an option because I have the league pass, right? I have to have the league pass out here because they don't, other than national games, I don't get Spurs games out here. So I do have the league pass. So that's why I get to watch all the games. And of course, the league pass feeds the local. Sometimes, side note, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I have to watch with like the local like Sacramento Kings feed, which is kind of odd, right? Because sometimes it doesn't give you the option. So that's a story for another time. But again, I'm a homer, quote unquote. I love Sean Elliott and Bill Land. I watch National though. I watch National. I feel like, and it's not so much about it's some of the commentators. It's just the production, the ESPN. Like I just, my man yesterday said, Wemby put Chet in the friend zone. That's what the national commentator said. That was hilarious. So, I love Sean and I love Bill. Those are my guys. We all know that. But just something about the national folks that I feel like you get something different energy, different vibes, the production value. So for me, I will watch on the national stage.
What is this with you agreeing with me all morning? What is going on?
I don't know. This might be the apocalypse. Listen, it's raining out here. It's raining out here in SoCal, which it doesn't rain a lot, right? We got some flooding here in San Diego. So and that never happens. This could be the sign of the apocalypse. It's flooding in San Diego. Fernandez and Jimenez are agreeing with each other. So I don't know, man. The thing's coming 3. So if there's another third weird thing in this world, there might be the apocalypse. I don't know.
So last night, ESPN had Mark Jones doing play-by-play, and the analysts were Monica McNutt and Andrea Carter. I found it interesting because when Chet and Wemby were going after each other, I was going back and forth between CW35 and ESPN. But when they were going at each other, Monica McNutt and Andrea Carter were giggling, and it was so funny because they stopped being announcers for a minute and they just became fans. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh my God, he went for his soul," They're going after. Yeah, and then when Chet fouled Wemby, like I said, they weren't announcers anymore. They were just fans going, "What was that?" And it's like they were not professional anymore, but not in a bad way. They were not being professional in the sense that it'd be no different than you and I calling the games. They know ball because they have played ball.
Hey, now that might be something, Fernandez. Hey, we got to do this one time when you come back here.
Yeah,
we got to get in my studio here and we'll watch a game live.
And we just play by play, and we kind of heck yeah, I love it. That sounds like a good idea. I'm here for that. But
better than Manning Cap.
Yeah, exactly. And we just got to have Steph with the mimosas, right? And we'll be golden. We'll be golden, right?
Hit different, bro.
Exactly. That champagne hits different. Exactly. No, and like I said, going back to the thing, or going back to your question, every game that I watch and every game that we watch locally, we get Sean and Bill. So it's great. So to me, it's like a treat for the national commentators. I like to hear what they have to say. So that's why I did go that way. But yeah, you're right. Mark Jones. Yeah. After one of the dunks, or I don't know if it was a dunk or a block. I can't remember, but he said, Chet or Wemby put Chet in the friend zone, and I died because that was hilarious. Yeah, man. So I get it, man. But, then you got the halftime stuff, my girl Malika doing her thing and all those people. So to me, it's like a treat. It doesn't. We do have more national televised games this year, but prior to this year, we didn't get a lot. So it's kind of, it's kind of fun to hear the national commentators, see what they have to say.
So, go to my screen real fast. Yeah. Tim Gonzalez says silent reporter Andrea Carter is a nugget. He says so. Is she a nugget? Yes or no? As we put this on here, let's see here.
Let's see.
Let's see. Add extra camera. Here we go. Where's there? It is right there.
There it is.
Andrea Carter, nugget there. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, former Tennessee Vol, Andrea Carter. Nugget confirmed. Nugget.
my man Tim Gonzalez, man, he always comes up with some good stuff, man. Good Good saying. Always keeps it interesting.
Oh, look, we got an STP11. He said, Bob Myers said at halftime, what does a young team need more? Does a young team need more draft picks? They're already young. Get veteran help. The Spurs sheep fans should be up in arms to fire the GM ASAP.
Now, Bob Myers didn't say that part, but Bob Myers going out there and saying, they're already young. Why are we stockpiling picks?
Yeah.
Get some veterans out here. And it's so weird because yesterday's game, the Spurs are the youngest team in the NBA. Last place. You have the number 2 seed in the West, Oklahoma City Thunder, happen to be the second youngest team in the NBA. And it kind of takes away from the argument that, well, we're too young, right? They have the stud player over there in SGA. They've got an MVP candidate, and Wemby eventually will become an MVP candidate for the San Antonio Spurs as well. But the question becomes, like, how do you fit people around Wemby? Because I'm looking at this team, and I'm not anybody when it comes to that. Did he freeze up there a little bit?
I think so. I'm trying to get him
okay.
off. So we get give him some time to get back on.
No problem. A little technical glitch, but no biggie. But yesterday's game there, people were reaching out to me on Twitter saying, isn't this exactly where the Spurs want to be in a couple of years? The Spurs are going to get better and be just like Oklahoma City Thunder because we have a future MVP candidate. And the thing is that, yeah, we do have that future MVP candidate. I don't believe that we have the players around them the way that Oklahoma City has Chet Holmgren, that they have J-Dub, that they've got Josh Giddey. The cast around SGA is so much better than the cast that we have around Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, man. One of the things that was evident last night, again, is that the Spurs, the one Achilles heel that they have in this whole rebuild, so to speak, is that they just can't play consistent defense. They just can't stop the opposing team. And it doesn't matter who you put in front of them. It could be a really bad team. It could be a really good team. It doesn't matter. They just play very inconsistent on the defensive end. They have little spurts where they'll go play man-to-man, and all of a sudden it's like a shot clock violation.
Right.
And I'm like, well, damn, they look good for 24 seconds, but they just can't do it for 48 seconds. And if they can't play defense, unfortunately for Spurs fans, the Spurs just aren't going to be a winning team for the next couple of seasons. They will figure it out eventually, but in that meantime, I think we're going to be privy to some of the same things that we're seeing here, where they can go ahead and be a little bit competitive, at least for the first half. Then the second half, they come in and they just totally shit the bed when it comes to the third quarter. Third quarters are just notoriously bad for the San Antonio Spurs. But, I mean, it's just a young team growing right now. But, man, it's tough to watch, especially in this season. Spurnandez, I know you're a longtime Spurs fan. The staple of the Spurs back in the dynasty era was defense. The team this season, going back to last season, back to the season before that, it's just been that defense, man. Defense wins you championships, but this young team still has to figure that out. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, you're right, man. Of course, obviously the Duncan anchored teams and Robinson and Bowen and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean they're running and gunning, right? It's like those old Phoenix teams where they were just like running and scoring 120, 130. But like you said, without the defense, man, they put up a lot of points, but they get scored on so much. So it's definitely tough. And I think Wemby being the anchor, getting some.
Kind of froze up there for a second. We'll try to get.
I think they're figuring.
There he is. You're back on.
You're back on. Oh no, he went back off.
Got frozen. Couple things stand out there. So Fernandez was there talking about the defense of the Spurs, how they give up a lot of points. I'm looking at the standings right now. Spurs right now give up 122 points, which is the worst in the Western Conference right now. I mean, 122 points. That's a lot that we give up. Now, in the Eastern Conference, there are a few teams that give up more, such as the Pistons and the Wizards. But going back to last night's game, several things pop out at the box score for me. First and foremost, yes, we gave up 140 points, but beyond that, 9 for 32 from three. It happened again where they got cold from three. This is back-to-back game where they're shooting atrociously from three. Keldon Johnson with a plus-minus yesterday of minus 32. Worst on the team. Malachi Branham, who offensively did okay, but was negative 28 on a plus-minus. Awful. Then he had two starters for the Spurs yesterday that combined for 45 minutes. Julian Champagny, Jeremy Sohan, they combined for just 5 points. Champagny with 3, Sohan with 2. Sohan had 4 assists and 5 rebounds. So many things stuck out. People called me a hater again last night on Twitter because I was mentioning the fact that Sohan doesn't get a lot of love outside of the 210. I think the guy listening to us from the Netherlands and Fernandez are the only ones outside of 210 who are Sohan fans. But I want your impression on Sohan for a minute, real fast, because Fernandez, he has improved several parts of his game. He has regressed in other parts of his game. It's like playing whack-a-mole a little bit, with him. He's still young. He turns 21 years old in May. It's so weird. Why do you think, and do you think that this is a wrong impression of me? Why do you think that there are some games when he looks so good, like he looks like he could be the future power forward for many, many years to come, do the dirty things, be a Sean Marion, Draymond Green type of player, and then there's some games where he looks so lost, like he belongs on the end of the bench of a G League team. Why is it that his range of play is so wide? Or am I thinking this wrong?
No, I hear what you're saying, and it is kind of an anomaly because, like you said, there's like no in between. Like there's either like he's just like you said, he looks like a world beater. He looks like he could be an all-star. He looks like he could be a team that somebody would build around. Like some days, some nights he looks like that, and then like you said, some nights he's just totally lost. I don't know if it's between the ears, if it's, and again, we know the whole, hey, they tried him at point guard and all this kind of stuff didn't work. I think it, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm sure people are going to beat me up on this, but I think it's just the day and age we live in now, everything is magnified. Everything. I guarantee you, there's been players since the beginning of time, from the logo to Pistol Pete, that have had these issues. But nowadays, we magnify every game. We watch it and say, he's garbage. Get him off my team. I hate him. And then tomorrow, he's awesome. I love him. He's the best. Like, so some of it is just the age we live in, where everything is shown, everything is seen, everything is magnified. I'm sure there's been players, you mentioned Sean Marion or different people who went through lows like this where, hey, they were doing well there. I mean, that's life. Life is like that. There's days where I'm sitting around like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even, chew bubble gum and walk at the same time because I got so much going on. And then there's other days I'm like the best thing since sliced bread, like best thing since shoestrings. I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. And I'm not trying to like talk around and not give an answer. It is perplexing. It really is. It is. And the kid's he's got the want. I think he has the drive. He's got to be put in the right position. He's not the number 2 guy. He's not, I think he's getting his own head too. I think some of these guys, and I love Devin and all these guys, I don't think our number 2 guys on our team right now. And I'm so sorry. I don't, right? But when you accept that, hey, maybe I'm the number 3 guy. Maybe Devin is, or maybe I'm the number 4 guy. If you accept that and you flourish and you grow where you're planted, maybe, he's still trying to find his way. And again, he's 21, right? So,
hey, we got a comment here from the Drew Show. Thanks for the $5 super chat. We do appreciate your support. He says Pop and his coaching staff thought playing zone D against the best shooting 3-point team in the NBA was going to work. Not players' fault. And that's what he was referring to yesterday against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And it was interesting because the Thunder were playing zone D from a lot of the game as well.
They were.
It was like watching a college game yesterday.
Yeah.
The zone
they
D.
were just running, dude. It was just run and gun.
And that's the thing, is that, okay, so one of two things is actual and factual, as TLC said back in the day. Either Pop has lost it, or the players are so bad that Pop does not have any combinations there to make an adjustment at halftime or make an adjustment in the game. Because one of the two is actually there, because if it's the players, well, then that's Brian Wright's fault. If we do have the players to make adjustments and Pop's not doing it, well, why isn't he doing it? Now, I was talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Don't forget to follow him. Subscribe to Locked On Spurs. I do on Spotify. I do on YouTube as well. I am the guest today on Locked On Spurs.
Nice.
So we answer a mailbag of questions, and Sohan is one of the topics there. And it's kind of funny because, when you look at Sohan, on one hand, Spurs fans will say, well, he's averaging more points, rebounds, and assists than last year, and blocks compared to last year. But then if you notice points per game, assists per game, or points, rebounds, blocks, and all of that per minute is actually lower. So he's averaging more because he's playing more, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22. He's gone from 24% three-point shooter to a 37% three-point shooter, but his two-pointers have gone from 52% to 46. And when it all averages out, it just goes boom. You're right back to where you were the day before, the year before. So it's kind of interesting. We do have another super chat. This one coming in euros
from the Netherlands, brother.
Oh, right, yeah, there it is.
Garrett says,
the conversion chart is a little bit more, so they're paying a little more. So props to my man Garrett Vandergrift. So
very nice. Garrett says, quote, I know the Spurs are searching for a point guard, but in my opinion, the guard issue isn't as bad as the front court besides Wemby. Try Barlow down the road. That's a very good point, Garrett. And I love these super chats that are coming in because they're actually bringing up some really good points when it comes to things. This draft, the Spurs might have 1 first-round draft pick, might have 2, right? That Charlotte one is never going to happen, dude. That's going to turn into second rounders. Technically, we could get it as a first rounder next year, but beyond that, if it doesn't convey next year, it turns into second rounders in 2026. The Toronto pick will convey at some point, whether it be this year or next year. Toronto, top 6 protected. Right. They are right now the 6th worst record in the league. So right now it's a coin flip as to whether the Spurs are going to get it or not.
Yeah, look at this comment from Chris Gonzalez Fernandez. Sohan is the Dak of the Spurs.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny, man. That's pretty funny.
But going into what Garrett said with the super chat right there, Garrett's saying that he's more worried about who's playing alongside Wemby in the front court as opposed to the point guard. I guess that's his way of saying that he's okay maybe a little bit with Trey Jones. So let's play GM here. Okay, let's play GM, and it's the June draft. And let's say that the Spurs have the number 3 and number 7 pick, right? Do we address point guard first, or do we address a center first? Because, dude, Zach Collins isn't it, man. Zach Collins is not it. So it's kind of like, are we in the situation where it's just like best damn player available because we have so many holes to fill?
Yeah, man. I feel bad for Kind of Fuerte too, Fernandez. I know you're gonna talk about, but that's her boy, man. But we always give him a lot of flack because he's a traffic cone, booty crumbs on defense, dude. You know this.
Yeah. No, it's it's wild, and he got paid. You know what I'm saying? He got paid, and he's out there. It's tough. It's funny because, in the grand perspective of things, and like I like to think of these things, obviously the dude's in the NBA. Like the guy is good at basketball. Like you don't get to that level. You don't play all your years of college and all your years of, I have a son in AAU ball, right? These kids have been playing since they're, fetuses. And you know how hard it is to get to the NBA, right? So I'm just saying, like, if Zach Collins came to our Minus Pond or somewhere on Marbach and balled with us, he would be crazy, killing us, right? But obviously, we're just average people, right? And then he gets out there, and it's like the dude looks lost at points. It's just interesting to see that, right? Because again, the levels to it. But yeah, man, I don't know though. That's a good question about the center thing, like. This day and age is a big old school center necessary because a lot of the centers shoot threes now and all that, and Wemby can play the 5. Do we want him playing the 5 for a durable time? I don't know, right? Historically, a point guard and a big is a Shaq and Kobe, a Tony, a Tim has always been a combo, right? So having like an elite point guard with Wemby is something that's looks pretty fun. Looks like something that would help, but another big next to Wemby would also be great. You got this dude, Sar, right? This kid Sar, him next to Wemby would be amazing.
Yeah. So Tony Hill reaches out to us on our YouTube chat right now saying Wemby with an
There you go.
R in the front
Yeah.
court would be setting up a lethal attack for 10 plus years. Drew
Yeah.
Show and a few others earlier in the thread that we have here was saying keep an eye on Zachary Risarche,
Yeah.
a small forward out of France. We know that the Spurs front office was watching one of his games last week. They went out to Europe to go watch. I truly believe that the Spurs had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They would probably take Risarche for a variety of different reasons. We need everything, right? He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
He is
Wing.
he's a 6'9" wing. When I think of 6'9" wings, I think Sean Elliott, averaging right now 18.5 points, 6 rebounds, couple of assists, has a very good court vision. And it's so interesting because I think that that's the guy that's rising up all the mock drafts right now. And maybe he's not that center that we need or that big that we need. But if you have him alongside Sohan and Wemby, there might be something to develop when it comes to that.
He's a playmaker, man.
He's
That's
a playmaker.
Yeah, exactly. He could probably play some point guard. He could handle the ball. He could play some 3-2. The dude could play a lot of different positions, right? So I agree.
So, when I look at this, Dillingham from Dillingham at the back end as a shooter, we need someone who can knock down threes, man.
Yeah.
We need someone who can knock down
consistently.
threes.
Consistently, yeah.
Oklahoma City has nothing but guys on their team that can shoot threes, dude.
Right.
And that was clearly evident yesterday. They even had what's that guy's the Latvian Laser? What was his name? The former Spur that we used to have.
Bertans. That was Bertans.
That brother was cold as ice the whole game. He put him in garbage minutes. He comes right up the court. Money, bro. He just shoots a three. I'm like, what the hell, man?
So last night on the Ringer, if you follow the Ringer website, Kevin O'Connor has his big board for the upcoming draft. And one of my favorite parts about the big board, because the Spurs have a 50% chance of having 2 top 8 picks. He goes out there and says, here's the player comparison of all of these guys. Alexander Sarr, who is playing in France right now, 6'11", 19 years old, 7'4" wingspan.
Jeez.
They say that he has shades of Jaren Jackson Jr. Okay, so Jaren Jackson is a very good player for Memphis. It's a guy that is kind of a fringe all-star as well. Other players, he has Cody Williams, the freshman wing out of
Jalen Williams' brother, the brother of the guy that's in OKC. Yeah, that kicking ball too.
Jalen Williams averaging 18.8 points per game.
And his brother, Jalen Williams can ball, and his brother Cody Williams can ball. Yeah.
So I found that to be interesting that they have him there. They say that he is Shades' throwback name, Jalen Rose.
Oh, Fat Five.
Yeah. So they
have Jalen Rose. Yeah.
Zachary Risarche out of France, 6'8", also 6'8", 6'9", depending on who's measuring. 19 years old, weighs 202. Has a man's body there. Shades of Michael Porter Jr. saying that he's a catch and shoot threat. He has great positional versatility, and he can shoot while moving with the ball. Now, number 4, they have Nikola Topic, who's playing out of Serbia. They say that it is kind of a Goran Dragic type of player.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacoby Walter out of Baylor, 6'5". They considered him kind of a Chris Middleton type of player. Reed Shepherd out of Kentucky. They say he reminds them a lot of Derek White. Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. Lou Williams, who doesn't have a lot of love for Manu, but Lou Williams. And then Stephon Castle, Anthony Black, but other names out there that the Spurs might be considering. Ron Holland, that's another point guard name there. I don't know if it's a point guard, it's just kind of a combo everything. Harrison Barnes is what they consider. Isaiah Collier is who I was thinking of. They think that he's
USC kid from USC. Yeah,
a Tyreek Evans kind of player.
There's some solid players, man. There might not be any, obviously there's a once in a generation where there's a Wemby in a draft, but there's some solid players in that draft, man. That could be pieced around Wemby. This team's gonna look a lot different next year.
And the Spurs have 26 second rounders in the next 5 years because apparently we're having a second G League team that's going to be opening up. I mean, 26. I asked somebody on Twitter how many do we want? And someone responded back, all of them.
No.
They're gonna open up the Marbach Edgars as a squad, all 5'8" and under. You know what I'm saying?
I want to share a screen, man. I was looking at something right now, and it made me laugh, dude. I like this intro right here. We need to have this as part of the show.
That's it. Listen, that
Dude,
is it.
bro.
Hey, shout out to the Frostbank. The lawn out there. It's a good time out there, man. The plaza. Yeah. That's
cold that day.
It was cold.
You and I
was
had
cold that day.
You and I had like 3 layers on each.
It was cold. It was cold that day. But yeah, they got that 360 cam. Hey man, that's it right there.
That's awesome. Talking to Fernandez out in Oceanside, California, just outside of San Diego. Every time I go to California, I'm in your neck of the woods. I get sick.
I know, man. I know. You were in LA recently, and I was hoping we could link up, but you were sick, and I was, man. I
got
can't.
COVID,
I got COVID.
I can't. I know. And I was like, I've never had COVID, or if I did, I just didn't realize it. So I'm not going to start now in 2024. That's
Yeah, he was
I
saying,
don't-
sana. That's what he was saying. Good luck,
exactly.
man.
Fucking Vicks all over. I put Vicks under my feet, all that shit. You know what I mean? Steph was going to Vicks me down,
I don't recommend it. Spurs back in action, by the way. It's going to be a late tip-off on Friday, 8:30 against the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers are.
We'll be at the game.
We're going to be at the game. We're going to be down low too.
Oh,
We might get kicked out because Leja said he's going to be talking his shit.
Speaking of kicked out, did you see the fan that got kicked out of the
I saw that.
Right?
I saw that. That's ridiculous. I mean, if that's the story, because I'm always, sometimes you hear these things and I don't know the whole story and all that, but the story was, he just said, what did he say? That Luka needs to train or work out or something to that effect. Didn't sound any, he didn't use profanity or apparently, according to that story. So for him to get kicked out just for that is it's pretty weak sauce.
Yeah. So basically, so a fan basically called Luka fat. Basically said that he looks tired. I think
there you go. He looks tired. Yeah, he looks tired. He needs to go work out or something, or get on the treadmill or something to that effect. I can't remember, but
but either way, for that to be the reason why you get kicked out of a game.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember back in the day being so close to the action, second or third row one time. I got under the skin of Monte Ellis.
I remember Monte Ellis. Yeah,
I was like Monte, baby, 30 points, got all excited, and then I was like, "But you've given up like 50 on D." And then he looked at me and gave me a pissed off look. If that was she would have thrown me out. So a couple of things. Yeah, the fan got thrown out just unceremoniously. Portland coming into town. Portland is actually trying to go after the NBA about the loss that they had to Oklahoma City.
Chauncey Billups. Yeah, Chauncey Billups was trying to call a timeout, and I saw that. Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy, and it hasn't happened in like 20 years that a challenge to the NBA has gone up. They were talking about I think Shaq was the last time because they fouled Shaq out when he didn't have 6 fouls. And they restarted the game with like 50 some odd seconds a couple of months later. I think that's what Portland's angling for there. They got screwed over. Talking to Spurs.
I mean, Chauncey is clearly trying to call the timeout. If you watch that, he really is. Now, I mean,
the ref had his back.
The refs, the ref, Well, it's like it's like an umpire. I mean, it's a judgment call. Like, he's calling the timeout, but if the ref, I don't think the ref like looked at him, saw him, and purposely didn't let him call the timeout. That would be a grievance, right? But if the ref doesn't see you or hear you, I mean, I don't know.
Well, the trail official should have called it, man. The trail official.
Yeah, true.
Help the middle official out. The middle official was looking at a double team. Not only was it a double team, it was on the sideline and it was at the half court line. Ended up calling a double dribble there. NFL action this weekend, AFC Championship game against the NFC Championship game. I mean, the ratings for the AFC game is going to be through the roof because 50 million people watched the last game that the Chiefs played because you got a lot of Swifties out there.
T-Swizzle, man. We got T-Swizzle out there. We got to.
By the way, Joe, if you could load up that TikTok I sent you earlier today.
Yeah, you could probably pull it up here.
Oh, you know what? That's if I could find. But can you get the sound off of this?
Yeah, the sound travels from there over here. I got everything set up, man.
Okay.
Hey, Fernandez, while you're looking for that, let me ask him a question because we haven't talked boxing, man, and me and him are avid fans of boxing, man. And San Antonio doesn't get enough talk, I think, in the national media because they have a lot of young local boxers here. I mean, Barrios, we've had Bam, they've been
Yep.
champs. But there's a good boxing scene here in San Antonio. We got the Golden Gloves mitt championship coming, or the mitt, I forgot what they call it, mitt competition that's going to be happening here at Ingram Mall of all places, bro.
Oh man, that's a place to have some fights. I'll tell you what, if you're gonna have some fights, Ingram is the place. Yeah.
And it's going to be in front of
stomping
I
ground.
believe the JCPenney there in Ingram Mall. And that's going to be happening on February the 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. It doesn't say that it's a paid event, so it might be open to the public. You can go down there and check it out, man, because again, you get to see a lot of up and coming boxers, and I don't think San Antonio gets enough talk about the talent that they have here, and then they're starting to get some boxers here and there that come out on some undercard fights, as you've seen with the Zone, Top Rank. Sometimes on the pay-per-view fights, you got some local San Antonio boxers competing on the card, which is great. But overall, man, I think we need to go ahead and get San Antonio some more love, Fernandez, on the boxing scene, man. What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I tell you what, if you have a chance to go out and watch those guys and gals, and because there's gals out there too, for those Golden Gloves, I mean, I competed in the Golden Gloves back in the day. One of our best Golden Gloves fighters ever is Jesse James Leja, right? And I know him and his sons have a gym in town, and they do a lot of stuff with local fighters. So that's definitely something that we should kind of highlight more in these shows, because there are some great young talent, male and female boxers that, man, I tell you what, the Shrine, they put together fights sometimes at the Shrine, and those are fun. And you got, Robert Garcia, very legendary trainer out of Oxnard, California, who, came up with Fernando Vargas, all those guys. And Robert Garcia, if you know boxing, you know who he is. He trains a lot of these fighters from San Antonio. He trains Bam. And he brings them out to his gyms out here in SoCal. So, definitely a good boxing scene in San Antonio.
Looking forward to all of that. Now, here's the thing. We're going to have a new segment called Our Favorite TikTok of the Day.
Are you going to show it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and show it. There's a guy that has a podcast. His name is Mo Mitch.
Let me go in.
And this has more than 1 million views. And it's basically somebody questioning their loyalty to the Dallas Cowboys, someone who wrote them a letter. If we can get the volume up on this.
Yeah.
We good to go? We're ready to go?
Good to go.
All right, let's play out.
Is it playing?
Yeah, it is.
I don't hear no audio.
Oh, you know what? Because let me see if I can do one last thing for it. Do I have the audio not done on here? Let me see here.
Should be.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we're going to try to figure this out for the future. But one of the things about it is the punchline of the joke was they were basically saying that being a Dallas Cowboy fan is like an endless loop of a Linkin Park song. They try so hard and got so far, but at the end, it doesn't really matter.
Hey, man, Fernandez and me are avid Cowboy fans, bro.
That's funny. That is funny,
But man, I gotta tell you, Fernandez, man, I get tired of the losing, bro. In big games, like the regular season to me doesn't mean jack shit. What means something to me is if Dak is able to get the boys a win in the big moments, and that's where he's failed consistently. And it's not just Dak; the team as a whole, they fold, man. When the lights are shining the brightest, you know it's about to happen, dude. And I knew this was going to happen when Green Bay, they're going to play Green Bay, and Cowboys fans, this is our year. They're going to dominate Green Bay, blah blah blah. They're at home. They're going to be undefeated. I'm like, hold up, man. Green Bay has an undefeated record against the Cowboys. It don't matter, man. At home. Something's got to give. Yeah. Sure enough, man, those 2 picks that Dak threw did not help, but it's tough for Cowboy fans, man.
That was a tough one. I will say that was a tough one. Yeah.
Chiefs Ravens this weekend. Ravens are by 3.5 points. What's the better storyline? The better storyline is the fact that the Chiefs could be a dynasty, 3 rings in 5 years. Is it the fact that the Swifties get to have huge ratings? Is it the Ravens getting over the hump finally? Having that possibility of Jim Harbaugh winning for Michigan, who's now going to be with the Chargers as head coach, and then having his brother John Harbaugh win the Super Bowl a month later. What's your favorite storyline of the two? And by the way, a lot of Ravens fans are pissed off because the head official for this upcoming game has a history of siding with road teams more than the home team. And there's this long list of he calls more fouls on the home team. He calls more false starts on the home team. Home teams have a losing record when he is officiating, and the home team usually does not cover the spread. Spread, by the way, Ravens favored by 3.5. What is your favorite storyline? The Chiefs storyline or the Ravens storyline?
I mean, it's a gritty city like Baltimore. Getting over the hump would be amazing, right? Like you said, the brothers. That's a cool story. The brothers, the Harbaugh brothers, winning. But man, it's hard to not get excited about. You got Jason Kelsey out there shirtless, pounding beers, pounding beers, right? And then you got T Swizzle up there, doing her thing, right? You love her or hate her, but you're up there watching her, right? That's fun. I'm sorry, that is fun. I do like to see, it's such a contrast of, your everyday man, Kelsey out there shirtless, drinking a beer, his daughter and his man of the people, right? Is we do that and we're drunk assholes that need to go to AA, but he does it and everybody loves it. Yeah. I saw a tweet that said something like that, like, man, I did that at so and so's wedding and I was the asshole that needed to go to AA, but everybody loves Jason Kelsey, but that's a cool story, but I do think people are ready to move on. And Ravens, man, they look tough. The Ravens look tough right now.
I saw the Buffalo newscast the other day about the kid that Jason Kelsey picked up because the girl had a Taylor Swift.
The little girl with the Taylor Swift sign. Yeah.
And he carried her to the window so that she could show the sign to Swift.
Yeah.
Very cool. I hated the Tom Brady dynasty. I hated it. I was tired of it. But I'm not tired of the Mahomes one. And I like Travis Kelsey. And I have no ill will towards the Chiefs, so it just kind of is what it is. The evening game is going to be on Fox, Lions and Niners. Niners trying to get their 6th ring to match what the the New England Patriots have. Right now, the Lions are underdogs by 7.5 points. That means the 49ers are favored by 7.5. I tell you what, I think the Lions are going to win this game.
Lions are tough, man. That Dan Campbell, man, I like him, man. He's a gritty coach. He's a tough dude. If it's close, I think they can kind of steal one and pull it and sneak it away because they're tough, man. They're gritty. But I'm just worried that the Niners might jump all over them. I don't know.
I'm looking at Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end. 10 touchdowns, 889 yards receiving during the regular season. You talk about the defense of the Niners and how they have great linebackers. But the thing is, how do you get past that? It's tight end play. Your best friend is a tight end. Cowboy fans know this because Troy Aikman had Novacek and Romo had Witten and all of that stuff.
That's the security blanket, man. It's a security blanket. Those tight ends,
Laporta is getting better and better as the weeks go on. Just a complete stud tight end out of Iowa. Just 23 years old, just turned 23 a couple of days ago. I like the Lions. I like Jared Goff not making mistakes.
Same as Brock Purdy, dude.
I like the fact that they have a 1-2 combo at running back, with Jahmyr Gibbs being the lightning to the thunder that is Montgomery. Zach Ertz got signed to the team yesterday.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I look at it and I think to myself, if Deebo Samuel doesn't play, that offense of San Francisco is different without Deebo, because Deebo goes in there, they rush him, they have him in motion. You got to keep an eye on him. If he's not there, they can focus their attention on Christian McCaffrey. Lions defense can focus on that and dare Brock to beat them. That's it right there. So if Deebo plays, okay, I can see San Francisco winning but not covering. But if he doesn't play, or he's only 30% or 50%, give me the Lions in that game. By the way, I already see that we're coming up on, man, we've been on for about an hour. Let's get that entertainment bump music going.
Okay, let me go ahead and play that.
We do sports, pop culture, nostalgia over here. And speaking of pop culture, nostalgia, big news coming out of San Antonio, Texas. The Alamo Dome announced last night that they were going to have a big reveal today as to who was going to be performing a major concert here in San Antonio. They revealed it at 10 this morning, so just over an hour ago. On October 25th, a Friday night of this year, so in 9 months, there's going to be a concert, a double billing of Billy Joel and Sting coming to San Antonio. That's right. The Piano Man is coming. One of the highest selling musicians of all time. I think he's in the top 20 of all time of albums sold.
The Piano Man.
Sting has won 17 Grammy Awards. They are both legends. You know, Billy Joel sold over 160 million. And you know Sting not only as a solo artist, but also as the frontman for the Police.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both of them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have seen Sting in concert before. I saw him in the late 90s at South Park Meadows, just south of Austin, which no longer exists. I believe it's a Rooms to Go now. It depresses me every time I drive by and a Rooms to Go and a Chili's.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's right there off of Slaughter. And right? Yeah. And when I lived in Austin, I lived in that area right there in Slaughter. I know exactly
what is Slaughter? What is Slaughter Lane known for? What is Slaughter named? The strip clubs, baby. The Austin strip clubs, man. They go it's like a necklace all the way to the airport.
You know, those are my college days, man. Back there at UT, you know.
That's what
We have some other entertainment news. This one not so exciting, not so fun. But a very famous porn star was found dead. Jessie Jane, who from the early 2000s was one of the biggest porn stars in the world. I remember her. I'm going to show this photo here. She was in the TV show. Well, let's see what's going on here.
Hey.
I was trying to zoom in on the Entourage.
Hey.
Okay, so remember the Entourage.
We're gonna see
what you do on your own time is your own time, Jimenez. What you do on your own time is your own time.
Here we go. This is the photo that I was trying to show. Her in the outfit. So there was an episode of Entourage. Were you a fan of Entourage back in the day?
I watched it. I wouldn't say I was a big fan, but I watched it.
There was an episode where I believe it was Aquaman was coming out, and there was this one guy who's kind of a reporter that does all the Comic-Cons that was going to give it a bad review, not because he thought the movie was bad, he didn't like Vinny Chase, the main character. So they find this out, and what ends up happening is that they try to give him an exclusive interview, but the guy's being a dick, and he's going to write a bad review anyway. And Turtle and E run into the porn star Jessie Jane, who was doing something else at the Comic-Con, you know, signing autographs or whatnot. And they encourage her, hey, can you go over to his room and just like, I don't know, flirt with him or something? And I don't know what they did with him, but in the show, he ends up being so happy that he writes a really good review. But Jessie Jane, not only a porn star, but she was also big on the on TV shows and movies and whatnot. She was one of the few to kind of cross over. But this was a story that came out this morning that she is dead at the age of 43 after the overdose. Her boyfriend was also found dead as well. So the belief is that they both died of an OD. It says, according to TMZ, Jessie Jane, a well-known porn star from the 2000s, died alongside her boyfriend, who also passed away. And it sounds like their death is drug-related. There was a request to have a welfare check done on both of them. They went in and found that they had both died. Her boyfriend's employer was the one who requested the check in because they hadn't heard from him in days. Apparently, there's drugs of some sort. But they're looking at photos there of her being inducted into like various no Hall of Fames, various things like that. So Jessie Jane, again, she was also part of CNBC's series of The Business of Pleasure. I remember that series. That's where they were kind of talking to people about whether or not they, after they retired as porn stars, whether they regretted it or not. What was their life like afterwards? She was very vocal. I know she wrote a lot. She did a lot of columns and stuff like that. So she was beyond just some girl who would kind of lay on the bed. She was a figure in pop culture for a good while. Jessie Jane, dead at the age of 43.
Too young, man. Too young.
That is too young. Hey, man, but I appreciate, Fernandez being a trooper, dude. You've been hanging in here tough with us for a while.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
my employer might be looking for me right now,
Well, Jonathan C reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says, quote, let's all pour some hand lotion out for Jesse J.
Oh, yeah.
Good God.
Oh
Jeez.
my God,
Come
hey, it's
on.
brutal. It's brutal out there, man. It's brutal out in the streets,
That's
man.
so tough.
Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Jimenez knows that. They come after him.
Yeah, you know, they you know what, and it's so funny because they come after me, but sometimes it's because you throw fire on it. It's because of
Yeah,
Jeff.
you know, yeah. We all instigate. We all stir the pot. You know what I'm
we
saying?
do. Sometimes you make it too easy, bro. Like you be putting up some
that
good things.
facts. That is true. Sometimes I feel like you want it. Sometimes it seems like you invite it and want it, man. So I'm just giving you what you want, man. We are just giving the people what they want.
Okay, so breaking news coming in today. Before we let everybody go, we'll go back to sports real fast. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, the finalist for the most valuable player award for the NFL has been announced. The winner going to be announced February 8th, but Dak Prescott is among the finalists, along with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Something tells me Dak's going to finish second, but it is what it is. Other things from Adam Schefter saying that the Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn had his second interview today, or he's going to have his second interview today with the Seattle Seahawks for their head coaching position. What are your thoughts on Dan Quinn going over there? Because here's the thing about it. I think Dan Quinn has gone as far as he could go with the Dallas Cowboys. He's a very good defensive coordinator, but man, the way that he had those small linebackers out there, the way that he positioned it, the way that he didn't address the fact that Green Bay was running the ball and they didn't make any adjustments, and they were going out there with 6 and 7 DBs every single play. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get much better with this team. I think the Cowboys peaked when it comes to their level. I think they're actually going to go down now because they have too many mouths to feed. You've got CeeDee Lamb, you've got Micah Parsons, you've got Dak Prescott that all need to get paid, all need to get fed. Not enough money to go around. I think that Dan Quinn needs to jump off the ship and go off and go do something. Seattle offers him that job. He's gone. But I think that that's a good thing for Dan Quinn. For the Cowboys, maybe some fresh blood is what's needed.
Hey, I like this comment here by Ace. Check this out, Fernandez. Marine Corps going to pull a search and rescue.
Hey, that's funny. That is funny. That is funny, man.
They'd be like, "Where's Rick at, bro? Where's he at?"
Exactly, man. No, it's like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in my office. I close my door. I let my folks know. Unless somebody dies, don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? So, and then depending on who it is, too. So, but nah, man. Yeah, I think Quinn, like you said, man. Quinn is if I'm Quinn, I'm jumping out of that job, man. Come on, you can't do that. You can't pass up a head coaching job like that. So I have a feeling. I thought he was going to possibly leave last year. I'm surprised he stayed because he got a lot of interest last year, and with all these jobs open, I think Quinn's gonna jump on one. So, and maybe we get a young hotshot coordinator in. Never know. We'll see. But yeah.
Look at this one, Gregory Castillo. Tank first Fernandez.
You know what? That's funny. Let me show you something. I'm gonna show you something. That made me think of something. That made me think of see, here it is right here, man. See, this is there's the tank right there, man.
Is that an M1 Abrams?
There's an M1A1. Yeah. So I used to be in tanks when I first joined the Marine Corps, right? So this is like it's kind of like a going away plaque that they give you, right? But it's an actual tank, man. It's really cool. But there you go, tank first Fernandez. I like that.
We have more breaking news coming in. Also, according to Adam Schefter, this came down 6 minutes ago. We now have a Mexican-American head coach in the NFL.
Wow. Canales. Mm-hmm.
The Carolina Panthers signed Dave Canales.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that Canales and Panthers GM, the new Panthers GM, Dan Morgan, spent 8 years together in Seattle from 2010 to 2017. They'll be reunited, leading the Panthers as their new head coach GM combo. Canales was served as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. So working with players like Baker Mayfield and led them to a second round spot in the playoffs there. Very interesting. This is a guy from California, the son of Mexican American immigrants. we now have a Mexican American coach.
I wanted to get a Mexican American president, dude. If we ever get a Mexican president, bro, I'm showing up to Washington and my sombrero. I'm going crazy, bro.
They'll be birther shit all about it, dude. They're trying to stop it. You know that. You know that.
I'm waiting for my time. Me and Fernandez, even my sister, she's in Maryland, so we're just a stone throw. She's just a stone throw away from Washington, D.C. And she's already told me, if we ever get a Mexican president, me and her are going out there. We're going to represent, bro.
Hey, it's a nice area, man. DC is a really nice area. I'll tell you what.
Hey, man, but you got to watch it with the crime. That crime over there is
no. Of course. I mean, no. It's rough. There's rough parts. Obviously, DC is rough, but there's some nice parts too, man. That's a cool little area to be around. So,
we're talking about DC.
Yeah,
Can I? Oh my God, we now have a Jimenez story, tall tale.
Here we go.
What is Dennis Fernandez for this one?
Here we go.
These are stories that I remember out of life. That you have to mention something for me to remember it. So many things have happened to me because I was a member of the media and all the different things that I did back in the day. But I used to do freelance for several organizations, both Democrat and Republican, and I would do videos for their award ceremonies, kind of like mini documentaries, 3-5-minute stories about it all that would play at these events, right? I was a former news reporter at KBB for 5 years, former news producer and sports producer at KSAT and Kent's. That being said, I was doing some freelance work in Washington, D.C. We were talking about D.C., right? And Marcus Floyd, who is a photographer still, sports photographer for Ken's 5 now. So he's underneath the basket at basically every game. He used to play football, if I'm not mistaken, for the Air Force. And we went to this nightclub in Washington, D.C. I must have been in my late 20s. I was the only one there who was not African-American. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But the entire staff there was all white. It was interesting. They sat me down at a table. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sit down with some people who I played against in college and all that stuff." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I didn't think anything of it. We sat down at this table, had drinks for about an hour. 2 NFL legends were at that table: Andre Reed and who? Oh my God, who played for the Smith? Who was the Smith player? Oh my God.
Buffalo? Or we're talking about from Buffalo Bills? Or
yeah. I got a name.
Bruce Smith?
Bruce Smith.
Yeah.
Smith and Andre Reed were at the table. I remember Andre Reed because he was a wide receiver and he was, I guess, more known as far as the media. Bruce Smith was a really good player. Bruce Smith was a very good player. I mean, a Hall of Famer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I sat down, had a couple of drinks with them. They were very nice. They did not become boys. But these are things that happened that I wish I had a cell phone camera for back in the day. This probably happened in 2002. Whatever last year is kind of when it happened. But very, very cool.
Andre Reed's a really cool dude, man. He actually lives out here in San Diego. He does a lot of stuff for the community out here. I've met Andre Reed. He's a really, really good guy. Yeah, really good guy. Yeah.
Andre Reed with 13,000 receiving yards, one of the all-time best receivers out there. I'm looking at his Pro Football Reference. He last played, let's see here. He last played in 2000. So it was 2000 when it happened.
Damn.
Last season was with the Washington Redskins. Forgive me for saying that. The team formerly known as the Washington, or what was known as what the Washington Commanders are now.
Known at the time. Yeah.
So very, very cool. There was a club, Fernandez, in DC that I would go to. It still exists, by the way. It's called Heaven and Hell. And club and dance club, and you walk in there, the downstairs is hell, right?
Yeah.
All the lights are red, right?
Yeah.
And it has like a fire theme and all that, and it plays like hip hop music in there.
Yeah.
And then the middle one, the street level floor is it's called Purgatory, and Purgatory had nothing but gray and brown tones to it. They played like grunge and rock music up there.
Yeah.
And then upstairs was Heaven, and Heaven was all white and baby blue, right? And they played nothing but dance music up there.
Yeah.
It was a good vibe.
Yeah.
Right across the university.
Yeah, I used to. I lived out in Quantico, so I was out in the DC area for a couple of years, and you can have a good time out there. You know, you have a good time out there.
Wasn't bad. So before we let you go, one last topic. I noticed that your girl, Chicana Fuerte, Stephanie, she at you on Twitter asking you to take her to the Lovers and Friends tour in Las Vegas, May 4th. The pre-sale is tomorrow. You have to sign up for it. Did you sign up for it? Because I did.
I also did sign up for it. You know, hey, she adds me. She throws these hints. You know, they're not very subtle. You know, so they're like, hey, let me at you at this tour, or let me at you for this concert or something, right? So that'd be a good time, man. I love Vegas. We love Vegas. But yeah, I am definitely signed up and looking to get out there.
And if you want to know where to go in Vegas, man, you got to hit up my boy here, Fernandez.
Yeah,
he's got it down pat, bro. He'll tell you,
yeah,
hey, go here, do this, do that, dude.
They added,
Vegas is
that's your jam.
They added some names to this. So this is Saturday, May 4th. The tickets, by the way, for general admission are $395. That includes the tax and all that stuff. If you want to have VIP is $695, and that's going to include the ability to get in without a line. You know, so you know those general admission people go on this line, the VIP go on this one. VIP also gets you closer to the stage because you have an area for just VIP, and then also it comes with private bathrooms, and it has AC bathrooms. This is May 4th. By the way, the concert gets going at 11 a.m. It ends at midnight. It is 13 hours long. I thought it was a 2 or 3 day festival.
Damn,
but it's an hour-long festival with like four or five different venues on the fairground. It's a 15-minute walk from the Venetian, so you don't have to Uber or whatever the case may be. But the Lovers and Friends tour has Janet Jackson, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Gwen Stefani, Snoop Dogg, Backstreet Boys, Lil Wayne, Nas, Ludacris, Nelly, Akon, Neo, T-Pain, Ashanti, Ja Rule, Usher, Sierra, TLC. New names being brought up: Robin Thicke, Tyrese, 98 Degrees. That's going old school. Craig David, love me some Craig David. Monica, Brandy, Eve, Jodeci, Keisha Cole, Timbaland, Maya. Oh, the thickness that is Maya. I mean, even when you go all the way down, there's some.
It's that. Yeah, it's that.
I mean, Escape, SWV, Method Man, Redman. Good
man.
Lord. Rick Ross, Fat Joe, T.I., Mace, Jason Derulo, Sean Paul. Good God, I am going to be there. By the way, so $395. Regular.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's worth springing for them VIP, man. I'm telling you, because you talking about private bath. You sold me a private bath or your own bathroom area.
Air conditioned at that, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it might be worth it, man, to spring for that VIP, because that's going to be a big one.
So people were asking me like, well, are you going to buy tickets? How many are you going to buy? I'm going to buy the maximum amount, because if I can't find friends,
you'll sell them. You could flip those easy.
I can flip them, or B, who wouldn't want to go? Who wouldn't want to go?
Yeah.
And then they have a Cabana one, but that's for $950 a ticket. But that only gives you access to one stage, which is the main stage. And the main stage is only good at the Palace. R.I.P. Jesse Jane. R.I.P. Chet Holmgren's odds of winning the rookie. That is Fernandez. Fernandez, how can we reach you on Twitter, my man?
Yeah, man. Hey, they're at Reels Fernandez. I appreciate the follow, man. I appreciate the love. You know, it's all love. Even someone who hates, hey, we love to hate, you know, but it's all one love, man. But please, hit me up with a follow at our Reels Fernandez, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
Very nice. Hey, thank you for your service, my man.
My pleasure.
I know that you've been out there for a couple of decades representing this country. You're a war veteran at that. Respect you, my man. You are a Spurs fan through and through. You're all over the place. You go to all the games. You get all the good stuff. You're always on TV.
Always.
Yeah. The camera loves me, man. You know, I've never met a camera that didn't love me, and I didn't feel the same way. So.
And by the way, I may have met Paige Sporonic, but you took a selfie with Malika Andrews.
I did in LA. I did. I met her in LA, and she said she liked my bling, right? And so she was super nice, super sweet, right? So yeah, man.
Is she a nugget?
I don't know. I really don't know the definition of the nugget. Maybe I got to get back to Tim Gonzalez about that. But it sounds like it.
On a scale of 1 through 10, on a scale of 1 through 10, if they're an 8 or higher, nugget.
Okay, so she's a nugget.
Certified. That is
20 piece.
It's Ricardo Fernandez, Spurnandez, the real Spurnandez on Twitter. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Have a good day.
Take care, man.
We did a lot today, from Spurs talk to the Rookie of the Year talk to pop culture, breaking news involving the city of San Antonio. Billy Joel and Sting performing here in San Antonio in 9 months. October 24th, I believe, is the date. That sounds like a good show. I'll show up for Sting, dude. Billy Joel doesn't do it for me.
I listened to Billy Joel only because of my dad. My dad was always listening to Billy Joel back in the day. And I've listened to Sting, of course. I mean, growing up in the 80s and whatnot, you're getting to listen to the Police, Even when he went solo, he had some bangers, dude, back in the day.
The problem with Billy Joel is that song, We Didn't Start the Fire.
Oh,
in retrospect,
yeah,
we started all of them.
Well, Billy Joel's had some good songs though, man.
Oh, I mean, Piano Man. She's Always a Woman to Me, which is a great song. New York State of Mind. The Longest Time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you don't get to see them this time, they're getting up there in age already, bro. It's like, are you going to really be able to see them again?
Okay, maybe I'll be more excited. Some of these songs are still bops. They're not bangers. They're still bops. Just the Way You Are. My Life. She's Got Away. Only the Good Die Young. I mean, okay, it's still rock and roll to me. All right, okay, fine. I can make this a thing. Billy Joel has this thing, by the way, where he does not allow music venues to sell the first 2 rows of seats. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
This has been a thing for Billy Joel for decades, and he does it today, and he will do this at the Alamo Dome. He does not allow the first 2 rows to be sold. What he does is that he lets people get to the concert, and then he gets his roadies, and he gets the roadies to go to the cheap seats and find fans for the cheap seats, and he sells every roadie. You've got 4 or 5 or 6 tickets. Bring them up to the front, because he wants the real fans, the ones who can't afford to be in the front row, to be in the front row.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
That's written into his contract there. Sting, on the other hand, will play for whoever. Sting,
he's a gun for hire, bro.
Yes. The weirdest thing about Sting, by the way, I've seen him in concert. What he was before he was a music star, he was a teacher.
Really?
Right? He was an actual teacher, right?
Yeah.
One of his big hits when he first came out with the Police, well, maybe second album, he had Roxanne and all that in late 70s, was Don't Stand So Close to Me, which is about a teacher banging a student.
Oh, Lord.
And he was a teacher, and he wrote that song.
Teacher diddling, dude.
So wrong. But this has been a fun show. You have the day off today, don't you?
I have the day off, man, but I got to talk to my electrician AC guy here. I'm already 7 minutes late, dude, so he's probably going to be on me.
I got a call because my smoke alarm's been chirping for about 4 days, dude.
You got to push the button, man.
It's 26 feet up, dude.
Yeah, you got to get a long pole and push the button.
I have a 2-story house, but like one part of the house is vaulted all the way to the top.
Yeah, man.
So it's only 2-story, like on half the house.
It's a long way up.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna get a ladder for that. F that, man.
You gotta hire somebody, bro.
Dude, I'm afraid to use my microwave and my oven and stove right now because it's so clean. That lady who came by, that cute chick who came by to clean my house.
Yeah.
She did a good job, dude.
Yeah, bro.
She did a good job. This has been fun. Follow me on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. You can follow Joe at 2 Shots Podcast. Like and subscribe on the way out the door. On the way out the door, and share what we do, because none of what we talked about today, by the way, is dated, right? So whether you hear it later on a podcast or whether you share it with your friends or whatnot, text it to them. Tell them, hey, follow these guys. Thank you for those of you who bought us a coffee or took part in the super chat. QR code is still up there. This has been fun. I got to figure out who Kathy Kelly from WWE is.
Yeah.
I got to figure that out. But this has been a fun show. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good Thursday.
Peace.